Now, when we established who our client is, what our products are, and what the closing and selling means, I'm able to present you with better clarity what our sales flow process is about. I'm Robert Miskov, CEO of Pedal Consulting. We are top performing SME when it comes to number of successfully secured and implemented projects under Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe programs in Central Europe. In Pedal Consulting, we have a sales flow process which consists of 9 steps. The first step, logically, is that we need to identify a prospective client, someone who is willing to invite us into their project consortium. We have 3 different sets of markets here. The first one, the one which is very easy to tap into, is the hot market. Those are the contacts with which we have worked in the past successfully. Someone who understands your capabilities and there is a good chemistry between the 2 parties. The second market is the other extreme that we call also cold market. Those are the partners with which we haven't worked yet, but they are certainly on our wish list. So here we're screening the list of attendance from different conferences and workshops that we attend. Or sometimes when we perform analysis on who is the top performer in different categories in various programs, interesting names pop up. This is our cold market, and we're always trying to find the best way how to contact them, but that's a story for another video. The third category is my favorite. We call it warm market, and it's partners with which we didn't have yet chance to work on a proof project, but it's partners with whom we somehow interacted together, most frequently when we were working on the common proposal, which was not unfortunately selected for funding. But we established a good level of trust, and there is definitely reciprocal interest to work on the proposal again and follow up on existing opportunities. Once we have identified the prospective client, we move on to step number 2, which is contacting the prospect. Here we actually have 12 different strategies that are currently in our playbook, and it's a really personalized way of getting them interested and in order to propose the most tailor-made value proposition depending on their needs. This is very specific topics, and we will be most probably presenting them in separate videos. Step number 2 is actually reaching out, contacting the prospective client. And then we move on to step number 3, which is qualifying the prospect. What it means is that we have a set of questions that we would like to answer. Some of them could be answered beforehand, and some of them only through some due diligence process, or ideally through the mutual discussion with the prospective client. So what we are asking here is how many projects, successful projects they are participating to, how many proposals they submit per year, in which topics, in which clusters. We also would like to know how many of those submissions, those proposals are prepared by their core team internally, and in how many cases they are actually invited through their trusted circles. We also ask questions like who are your trusted partners in Slovakia, Pedal Consulting being established in Slovakia, to also understand a little bit the movements on the market within our geography. Plus, we would like to know what are the roles, which tasks, work packages they are leading in the approved projects. Once we gather this type of intel and have our prospect qualified, we move on to the step number 4, which is really trying to understand the real actual needs of the consortium or of the prospective client. So here what we're trying to understand, is it the concrete reference that you need in order to strengthen your application? What type of reference, what type of project? Or are you looking for an NGO, a research institute, or hopefully SME, Pedal Consulting being an SME? From which geography? Sometimes even this plays a certain role, depending on how context is articulated. And lastly, we're trying to understand what expertise, what type of products or services they are interested in, and hopefully the portfolio of our products could be interesting for them. Now we identified the contact, we approached them, we qualified them, and we also understood what their real needs are. We start conducting the presentation. Of course, we have our sales pitch ready, and normally during the BizDev call or the BizDev meeting, we let the other party speaking first, so we can really adjust and zoom into those topics that are their pertinent interest. Step number 6 is overcoming objections. So just like in any sales process, there could be in a way resistance from the other side, and the goal is to really understand and listen to them what their concerns are. Normally they can be expressing concerns that we already have partner just like you who's offering similar services, so there is no room for expertise or the partner of your type. Or they say Robert or Innocent or Marco, whoever from our development team is running the show, they say, I don't see any complementarity here because we're offering very similar products just like you, so we're more competitors than collaborators. What is important that for each type of objection we have a so-called rebuttal list, so it's articulated, tested, validated answer that somehow works and helps us to move on to the next step. Arguably, the most crucial part is the closing part. This is where we need to agree on the next step. Hopefully there is a next step, and it should be some sort of agreement. Either something like, okay, let's wait and see, we are really interested, when the opportunity comes we contact each other. Or it can be something more concrete, hopefully. Okay, so we already maybe discussing certain very concrete call for proposals. So here next step would be, okay, we'll send you the part A, administrative details. We prepare draft of section 2.2. So it really varies on the situation. In some cases it could be, well, we are probably not the most ideal partner, but we definitely know someone who meets all your criteria and who ticks all the boxes that are required. So here we help them out with a partner search. In some cases it could be the success fee. I mean, there are many actors out there, they are motivated differently. So also this is a part of the discussions, and it's important that during this step number 7, closing, the next step is really agreed mutually. Step number 8 is following up. In panel consulting, we really want to make sure that almost right after the meeting, right after the call, the prospective client receives the promised information via email with all the documentation, and also some short and concise summary of what was agreed and what are the next steps ahead of us. And but it doesn't finish really there. What we are striving for is to build and nurture the relationship. So for us, the last step, and arguably the most important one, is customer building step, where we intentionally try to deepen a relationship with a prospective client, then almost a partner, and then a business partner. And here we also have in our database, in our resource bank, all the contacts have basically the rank, it's a percentage, which is reflecting the level of relationship that we have with each and every partner that we liaise with.